The life and death struggles. The splendor and sheer abundance. The awe-inspiring and the elegant. The dramatic and the humorous. This is the tapestry of nature, infinite variety, all connected and interwoven, a canvas for the artistry of Mitsuaki Iwago. For 25 years on 6 continents, Mitsuaki Iwago has been one of nature's preeminent storytellers. Through his award-winning still photography, best-selling books and popular international television series, he has brought the essence of the natural world to millions of people. His latest assignment, a documentary on elephants in Tanzania, marks his 11th trip to Africa. Here at Tarangire National Park, Iwago has found one of the highest concentrations of elephants left in Africa. For the past 2 months, Iwago has spent nearly every waking moment observing the movements and daily routines of several families of elephants that roam the park's grasslands during the dry season. He will conduct the daily elephant treks virtually alone, acting as his own guide, driver, cameraman, and naturalist. The key to Iwago's success has been his uncanny ability to read the animal, knowing when to venture closer and when to stay away.
Wildlife, the animals, they hate humans. They don't like people. We have to disturb them a little bit.
Between elephant and photographer, a truce has been forged. The long days Iwago has spent tracking the herd has tempered their wariness of him. But a 5,000-kilo bull elephant can be one of the most unpredictable and potentially dangerous animals in Africa.
It's not so good situation because we are upwind, he's downwind. He doesn't like it.
Incredible close-up photography requires more than a long lens. The key to Iwago's success is getting near enough to the animals to capture every detail of their lives without disturbing them.
When I see the wildlife, suddenly I stop the car and have a binocular and look at cheetah. Okay, we find a cheetah. If the cheetah looks the car very carefully and doesn't move her head, she doesn't like me. She doesn't like car. If the cheetah didn't pay attention to the car and look another place, then I can go a little bit closer.
Large and very ill-tempered, the hippo is responsible for more human deaths in Africa than any other animal. Approaching it for photography must be done slowly and with extreme caution.
there's a group of hippo. I think I can get a little bit closer. Try.
For hard-to-reach hippo pools, Iwago must leave the safety of his vehicle, exposing himself to a variety of dangers to get within picture-taking range.
Sometimes I got off the car because I want to be same level, eye level, lower. Because if you look at animals from the window of the car, you always look down to them and you see only their backs. There's young hippo on the back. He has scar here, and oxpecker is picking up, I think, a little piece of meat or fat.
Filming wildlife on the predator-rich East African savanna can be a risky business. And though he is often exposed to danger, Iwago is seldom concerned about his safety. Whether seeking shade or lured by curiosity, lions have often surrounded his vehicle, resulting in little more than a punctured tire.
Don't. Don't.
不思議そうな顔して僕のところを見ています。まあ毎日毎日本当に同じ車で同じエンジン音がしますから。
The human is not on their menu. They are not main diet. It's not human. They like to eat zebra, wildebeest, warthog. So if they attack human, there must be reason for them to be attacked.
Years of experience have taught Iwago that the more curious animals are, the more likely they are to approach him. But no matter how friendly the animals are, Iwago is adamant about not intruding without permission.
I have philosophy, wildlife, animals, I never touch them. Because if I touch wildlife, animals, I change their life.
During the course of nearly 3 memorable years, Iwago documented the Japanese snow monkey's poignant story of survival. Traveling to the highlands of central Japan, where winter's freeze grips snow-clad mountains, Iwago painstakingly photographed the daily struggles of these cold-weather primates. From the birth of tiny, helpless infants in the spring to their quickly acquired agility, Iwago filmed the lives and often harsh deaths of these endearing creatures. Searing desert heat and scarcity of water can present an equally difficult challenge to survival. Their bleak and isolated habitat has made kangaroos difficult to photograph over long periods. For Iwago, the rugged conditions and shyness of the kangaroos were a challenge. On assignment in Australia, he recalls seeing what he thought were people standing in the desert until he moved closer and realized the mirages were actually the statuesque forms of red kangaroos.
When I first observed kangaroo, I thought I never understand this animal. Very strange.
For 2 years, Iwago crisscrossed the Australian outback, following the kangaroos and other desert dwellers. He would later return to the land down under to make a film, still finding it difficult to approach the reluctant subjects.
They move slowly if you don't disturb them. Once you disturb, they run, start to run. Never stop. Never stop.
Iwago's deep fascination with how animals live and cope with the harshness of their environment led him to spend many months in the world's polar extreme. Antarctica, where life clings to what little is sustaining, and where the penguin has not only survived, but prospered. Iwago made several Antarctic journeys to film and photograph the peculiar flightless bird, and returned with a special fondness for these polar eccentrics. Despite their comical appearance, he found them to be both devoted parents and skilled swimmers.
People saying Antarctica is very cold and this is not a good place to live. But if you look at the penguins, they enjoy to live in Antarctica. To me, their life is very great on the ice.
What may be enjoyable for the penguins can be a nightmare for an Antarctic traveler. Once near shore, a gauntlet of giant icebergs threatened maritime disaster. Iwago's 1991 expedition to Antarctica may have been his most difficult. Camped on Ross Island, he and his Spartan crew spent 3 weeks working in blizzards with temperatures that reached -60 degrees Fahrenheit. Without a heater, Iwago's only method of drying soaked clothes was to put them in his sleeping bag and hope they would not be wet in the morning. Each day began with the ritual of making tea and trekking 50 meters from camp for fresh snow. But there was no avoiding a blizzard of penguin feathers that seemed to be everywhere. Picking feathers from the snow was fruitless. In time, he learned to enjoy what he called penguin tea. It was here in the wilderness desolation of Antarctica that Iwago truly came to know the mammoth scale of nature.
When I was first visiting Antarctica, you see the iceberg, how big size was. and size is like 20 times bigger than World Trade Center. And you can't imagine. So from visiting Antarctica, I decided not to use human scale to the nature.
Somehow, the penguin has forged a prosperous living here. Iwago has come to genuinely admire the comedic little birds. Survival here among the frigid howling storms is a constant struggle. Even under summer's perpetual sun, blizzards can last several days. But the penguins are well equipped with layers of fat and tightly packed feathers. Without such shields, cameramen must work with frozen gear and the threat of frostbite. Born in Tokyo in 1950, Iwago became fascinated with the art of photography at an early age by looking at photography books his family collected from the United States. These books and his father, Tokumitsu, became the greatest influences on the future course of the young Iwago.
My father is a photographer, specialized on wildlife. He was a newspaper photographer, but he decided to change his life to wildlife. So I was carrying his camera bag from when I was very young. I wanted to be a photographer when I was from junior high school, 10, 12 years old, because I was fascinated by the books, of the Western books, like Life magazine. So when I was high school, I liked to be a fashion photographer.
Though planning to become a fashion photographer after graduation, Iwago continued to assist his father on wildlife projects throughout college, until a trip in 1970 permanently changed his career plans.
Still, I was trying to be a fashion photographer. And my father said, let's go to Galapagos Islands. My father didn't say I have to be a wildlife photographer. I think I decided myself.
Iwago has spent 20 years perfecting his skills as a wildlife photographer. During a trip to the Hawaiian Islands, Iwago focused on the endangered monk seal and the vast array of life both in the sea and on land in these faraway islands. During this project, Iwago was introduced to diving, and many of Iwago's first underwater experiences were in the company of dozens of gray reef sharks that school and breed in the shallows of the islands. Hawaii inspired Iwago to embark on a project that captured the wonders of the humpback whale. From the humpback's winter home off Maui, Hawaii, where newborn calves first test their oversized pectoral fins, to the icy straits of southeastern Alaska, the humpback's summer home and feeding ground, Iwago spent many months in pursuit of the elusive giants. While capturing the whales' aerial acrobatics and feeling their salty spray envelop him, Iwago felt he truly had witnessed nature's ultimate power. He documented the whale's complex social behavior, most notably a feeding technique known as bubble netting. Using this amazing method, the whales swim below in a tight circle, exhaling from their blowholes and forming a bubble curtain to entrap schools of fish. Then, with mouths open wide, the whales swim to the surface while gulping hundreds of kilos of schooling fishes and krill. In a single long Alaskan day, they will consume up to 4% of their massive body weight. But capturing this underwater ballet on camera is no easy process. Predicting exactly where bubble netting would occur was an all-day waiting and guessing game that would take weeks of trial and error to achieve the perfect shot.
A little bit of frustration working on the whales because you can't see them because they are underwater, they are below the water. So you have to guess where they come to the surface.
Iwago's artistry has gained worldwide popularity and acclaim.
But I like this one too, myself. This is very late evening, almost sunset time, the bridge out of the water.
Larry Minton is Iwago's North American photographic agent.
Mr. Iwago's work stands out, I think, for some of the rawness, some of the action, the behavior. His African work is just superlative, and some of the, really the intensity and the power that it captures.
His Japanese publisher, Shuji Shimamoto, has worked with Iwago for over 20 years.
First of all, his focus is very sharp. The quality of his pictures are strong. He also is one of the few photographers who constantly keeps in mind that his photographs are eventually going to be viewed in the format of a book.
As much a part of nature as the life and death struggles, humor and the oddities of animal behavior have a special appeal for Iwago. Not limiting himself to the ordinary or to wildlife alone has given Iwago's work a universal appeal that also touches non-nature lovers. Even the more intimate areas of animal behavior are not off limits to Iwago's ever-present lens. It is the unexpected that often makes the most compelling video. In this case, the prey. Several angry Cape buffalo turn the tables on a group of surprised lions. The cats lose the battle, and perhaps even a little pride, proving once again that little in nature is a sure thing. Iwago's shower with a thirsty elephant ranks as one of his biggest surprises while on location. But the real surprise came for Iwago's crew, who didn't see the second elephant that had invaded the camp.
And there was another elephant behind them, and they didn't recognize. And I saw the elephant coming towards to them, and I shouted, "Oh, there's another elephant behind you." And I was too late.
Though no one was hurt, the startled crew was amazed when the towel-clad Iwago chased away the intruder. When in Japan, Iwago lives in a small town 2 hours west of Tokyo. With his wife Hideko, they enjoy a tranquil life outside the city. Iwago has brought his family along on many of his filming expeditions, including treks of 2 years to both Australia and Africa. His daughter, Kaoru, was only 4 years old when she faced many of the hardships associated with life in the wilds of Africa.
Kaoru was excited about starting nursery school in Japan, so we told her that this trip to Africa will be just as exciting, and it will take the place of going to nursery school. We promised her that we would all come back as a family before she started first grade.
Kaoru learned firsthand about the wonders of life and reality of death on the Serengeti, something she handled with impressive maturity.
When we live in East Africa with my family, and one day cheetah found Thompson gazelle, young fawn Thompson gazelle, and after cheetah eat, and picking up just a piece of skin and show to my daughter. She was only 4 years old. And this is very poor thing. And mother is still there watching what happened. This is very sad. Don't you think so? To my daughter. And she said, "Oh, it's fine. She'll have another one." I was kind of shocked, you know. She answered like that.
It was the zebras that won the little girl's heart, yet she remained impressively philosophical, even in the presence of death.
When she saw the dead zebra, she said, "Oh, this pony is dead," and turned to be bone, turned to be soil, dust. And that way should be in Africa. That's what she said. I didn't teach her anything like that.
Every weeknight,
Accompanied by his own family, Iwago focused much of his work on the families of the Serengeti, including the cheetah. These predators are high-speed precision hunters that can reach speeds of 110 kilometers per hour. Capturing the hunt on video requires expert camera work just to follow the action while keeping it in focus. Sometimes the undercarriage of Iwago's off-road vehicle is the dining area of choice. Once there, the cheetahs seem to enjoy the security and comfort the vehicle affords. Often Iwago was stranded at a location for hours.
They need the shadow of the car because African heat, of course, very hot.
The annual migration of 1.5 million wildebeest from the Serengeti plain of Tanzania to Kenya's Masai Mara and back may be one of nature's grandest spectacles. Four years ago, Iwago documented the incredible saga of these migrating grazers, and now he has returned to the Serengeti to again witness the unforgettable scene of endless streams of wildebeest marching in line. The incredible journey requires a perilous crossing of the crocodile-infested Mara River. Crossing that will leave hundreds dead and dying as they struggle, panic, and trample one another in an effort to escape the mud of a crumbling riverbank. Driven by instinct, the long march continues to the Serengeti. Though many will die, the promise of new grazing lands propels them forward.
Now I can see they're coming from north to the southeast because of, obviously I can see rain clouds in the south. Lots of rain there. And I was told that wildebeest can smell rain 50 kilometers away. That's unbelievable.
In drier years, the herd must make do at small watering holes that leave them open to attack from hidden predators. A near miss does not deter the ever-patient Nile crocodile. The need to drink has made the migrating herd careless. Though thousands will die from a variety of maladies along the way, the majority, more than 1 million strong, will again taste the sweet grasses of the Serengeti.
Nobody has the right answer why the wildebeest migrate. But it seems to me the reason is food. Because of here, you have short grass. They like to eat very much.
During February and March, 200,000 calves will be born in a massive birthing session. Predators will take many within minutes of birth, but nature has ensured the survival of the majority by the mass delivery of young. There are too many for the predators to eat. Iwago spent many months among the prides of lion in Tanzania's Ngorongoro crater. Though he witnessed many kills, Iwago saw the lionesses missing their target the majority of the time, often going hungry despite an abundance of game. Over time, the filmmaker learned that even a superior predator like the lion does not necessarily rule all the time.
Each time, each animals are different, like human being. So you cannot say lions are like this, and lions must like this. Lions lives like this, because this year, this land dominated by lion. But next year you go, the place dominated by hyena.
A formidable adversary, an 800-kilo bad-tempered buffalo, is easily capable of maiming or killing a lion. The ensuing confrontation between a hungry pride and an aging bull proved to be some of the most dramatic footage Iwago has ever captured. To the rescue, a small bachelor herd drives away the lions, but much of the injured bull's lifeblood has ebbed away, and the predators smell death. A retreat to the swamp is the bull's final stand. But after repeated attempts to drive away the lions, he stands alone, finally abandoned by his stalwart protectors. In the end, the persistence of the predators defeats the gallant resistance of the prey. To the casual observer, subtle differences, even the personalities of individuals in the pride, are difficult to detect. Only after weeks of observation can the complex social interaction between pride members be documented and the story of their lives in the crater told.
Lions, if you watch them every day, almost 15 hours, 16 hours together with them, you will see some kind of pattern. So that's only we can do, just keep watching.
In 1992, Iwago developed a special fondness for a young mother lion and her 3 newborn cubs. Her single flat ear, perhaps injured in a fight or kill, made her easily distinguishable to Iwago and led him to name her Floppy Ear. Like all lionesses, Floppy Ear had been absent from the pride for several days while giving birth, but had recently returned to introduce her new brood to the clan. When filming concluded in the Ngorongoro crater, Iwago believed he had seen his favorite lion, Floppy Ear, for the last time. But in 1997, and for the first time in 5 years, Iwago returns to the Ngorongoro crater, hoping to once again meet his favorite lion. The odds of finding Floppy Ear alive are certainly against Iwago. Park rangers estimated her age at 7 years in 1992. If she were still alive at the ripe old age of 12, she would be well beyond a lion's average lifespan. From wet season to dry, from year to year, the crater is in a constant state of flux. The crater itself is only 20 kilometers wide, yet provides for more than half a dozen prides which have plenty of places to hide. Amazingly, in only 2 hours, Iwago is on the mark. He has found Floppy Ear alive. He is anxious to have a closer look. Iwago is surprised to see Floppy Ear and her pride occupying a new territory in the crater. The old lioness now has a new set of nearly full-grown cubs. Many of the crater's 100 lions are probably her descendants. Though she is in the winter of her life, Iwago has heard from the park wardens that the lion known as Sikiolala, or sleeping ear in Swahili, is still an able hunter. In the waning daylight, she is now alert to the presence of closely passing zebra. Still the dominant female, she leads the cubs into position, slowly advancing in the high grass. She is teaching the cubs the art of patience. The zebra does not see her and is only a few feet from Floppy Ear's trap. With a look of indignance, the proud matriarch ends her brief chase in defeat. In daylight, the odds are with the zebra, but under the cover of night, the advantage will again swing to the lions. And though she has lost a kill, the floppy-eared lion of the Ngorongoro is still a hero to her adoring cubs. Like Floppy Ear, nature continues on, weaving incredible tales of life and death, survival of the fittest, the spectacle of abundance, and the miracle of adaptation. Iwago's portraits of the natural world provide a window into the lives of animals we may never come to know ourselves. Animals whose stories are as dramatic and poignant as any tale of human endeavor. This is nature, and Mitsuaki Iwago has captured it for us.